And that's a winner right there. Look at that one. What is up? We are out here on Lake Michigan. A question that I get a lot when I'm teaching, when I'm doing conferences on the Photog Nation is, how do you overpower super bright sunlight like I do in a lot of my beach photos and bright sunny day photos? So what I want to do is I want to show you how to do off-camera flash, high-speed sync in super sunny conditions and not have that overcast, natural softbox feel to a photo, but getting those bright skies like Toy Story blue skies. And if there were puffy clouds, there are a couple, but that's what I want to show you. And the good thing about this is it's great for getting those vibrant colors, as well as if you're shooting a wedding or if you're a wedding photographer. Most of the time you're shooting the wedding party photos and the couples photos at like 2 p.m. and you have to work on their schedule. So you don't have a lot of time to say, okay, let's go back out at sunset. You got to work with what you got, and sometimes you only have an hour to create something and it's 2 o'clock and it's sunny. So that's where this is going to come in handy. And what I have is I have my Sony A7R IV, and I'm going to use my Westcott FJ400, which is my go-to light all the time, single light setup, and this thing is a workhorse. It has been everywhere with me. It travels with me all the time. I do have an FJ200, which is a separate video that I'm creating, but this thing is amazing, and I'm gonna show you how to do bare bulb flash. And I know that can be terrifying to a lot of people, to just have your flash just firing and not be able to really control what's going on. But when you're out in sunny days, that's perfectly fine because it's sunny anyway. So you can shoot natural bare bulb without any sort of reflector or anything. Now I'm gonna start with a reflector on the FJ400, and then I'm gonna take it off and show you. I'm also gonna be crazy and I'm gonna put it in the water, close to where Paige is. So that's kind of, you're gonna have to kind of take a chance sometime and really be brave. They're durable lights, so I'm not too worried about it, and they're pretty easy to fix if you have to fix it. So hopefully we don't have to, hopefully you don't have to, but I'm gonna show you how to do this. Now, another thing that you're gonna want to have is an ND filter. That's basically a neutral density filter, and pretty much what it is it's like sunglasses for your lens. And what it's gonna do is it's gonna dim it down in the background. It's just like putting these sunglasses on. I use this a lot when I'm in Florida because the sun is very powerful, very bright down there. There's not a lot of overcast skies very often. It's sunny year round. So using an ND filter on your camera is gonna allow you to really get those dark exposures. And then that's why you need a powerful light like an FJ400 to be able to overpower the sun. And that's what we're gonna do. So I'm gonna move this in here. Are you ready, Paige? All right. Paige is brave enough to get into this 40-degree water with me. So we're gonna put that down in there, and hopefully that won't fall. We should be okay because it's a heavier duty tripod, light stand, as well as I don't have a reflector on there, kind of being a sail. So we should be all right, knock on water. I do have my power settings already down, so what you wanna do is when you're shooting this, you want to be at 1/8000 for a shutter speed because it is going to be bright. And that's why you need a light that is capable of shooting high-speed sync and shooting bright. So the FJ400 high-speed sync, it is at full power, and I'm actually gonna turn it off right now so I can show you guys what it looks like with just exposing for the background. I also have that ND filter on here. This is a 2-stop ND. It's actually a variable one, but I'm shooting it at 2 stops. So basically that's 2 stops above whatever my aperture is. I am at f1.4 ISO 200. Flash is not on right now, so we're gonna go ahead and get you in a little pose here. Love it. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna shoot that photo. And that's what we're working with right there. So there you go, we're exposed for the background. You can see what it's doing. You can see that you got those bright greens, the bright blues. The water looks great, the reflection looks incredible. What we're gonna do now is we're gonna turn our light on, and we should be good at full power because it is so bright out here. Typically, when I'm doing a video or teaching a workshop, I always say start by getting your ambient lighting set, and then when you introduce a light, introduce it at the lowest power level and bring it up. With this, when you're shooting super bright out here, you wanna do the exact opposite. You wanna expose for your background, then you wanna introduce your lights as bright as they'll go, and then bring them down until it matches right. So we're gonna go again. I have an 85 millimeter Sigma f1.4 here. And you can see the difference there that this light is making. Just crushing it. Now this lens actually also has a mist diffusion on it. What the mist diffusion does is it kind of just makes it a little creamier, I guess you could say. It takes the brightness and the fall off and kind of blends it together. That's not mandatory, that's just the ND filter that I have. It's most of the time used in cinematic stuff like video. Oh, it looks amazing. And I'm gonna drop that off. No power or no flash on this one. Can you get back in the same pose you were just in? Just so I got comparison. One more. So there you can see the difference in the two photos on what that light is actually doing. It is incredible what a light will do to be able to overpower the sun if you know the correct way to do it. It's taken me a long time to learn this. I probably could have just watched some YouTube videos like you guys are, but it's taken me a long time. Now what I'm gonna do now is I'm actually gonna take this reflector off here and shoot it bare bulb. And then you'll be able to see really the difference. So this is where it gets terrifying because the light is just fully exposed to the elements here. And I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna move it a little bit more forward. The angle that I'm shooting this in is Rembrandt lighting. So what it's doing is filling in the dark side of her face, creating a little bit of a triangle. Now, because it's so sunny and she's looking directly at the sun, there's not as much triangle as there typically would be. But what I'm doing is basically just filling in the opposite side of her face. We're gonna go back here. So that's with no power, light was off, and same shot with the light on. And this is how you create that silky mixing in the bright lights, having her staring directly into the sun, and it's not a problem, at least not for the photo. Yeah, that's a banger right there. So that's how it's done with the ND filter, mixing in a bare bulb flash, shooting it directly at about a 40 to 45 degree angle, filling in that side of the face that is not being exposed by the sun. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna actually take this same shot, but we're gonna move it to the other side. And what that's gonna do is it's gonna have the sunlight behind her. So let's just go ahead. Okay, so we've taken it and basically I had Paige turn around. She did a 180 degree turn. And I'm just taking the light, still using it at Rembrandt style, so it's 45 degrees. But what's happening now is the sun is actually being used as a rim light. And as you can see it in a photo that I take here, I'll just get a close up so I can show what I'm talking about. Turn your head this way just a little bit. There we go. So as you can see, it's just a rim light. The sun is hitting, but it looks awesome. But you can tell that her face is very underexposed. And that's what I want to do with the light, is I want to be able to expose for the background, use that rim light, but then use the light powerful enough to expose her in general and her face. So we're gonna turn our light on, full power. Nothing else has changed on my camera. I'm still at 1/8000, f1.4, ISO 250. 85 millimeter lens, love that look. And that's the difference right there. I mean, it is literally night and day difference because it looked like nighttime in the first one and now it's daytime and now you got blue skies and awesome colored rocks in the background. Take a step this way just a little bit and then pull forward for me one step. There we go. Now I might have to move that light. Oh, I just got my butt wet. Worth it though. That's a killer shot. Wow. And yes, I'm completely wet on the backside. Good thing I brought extra pants, right? Look at that. Woo! Turn your head back towards the light. And then bring it, there we go. Wow. That looks so awesome. One for the TikTok vertical here. Bring your head towards my light. So as you're watching this, you can see what I'm doing is her head is turned. If her head turns the opposite way, the light's not working. So that's something you got to kind of think about, is you do favor that side of your, like this side of your face more. So with that, I'm going to take this light and move it over here. Ooh, that was cold. The things I do for the YouTube, right? So there we go. We got some more light coming in. And I'll take one without the light so you can see the difference. Such a major difference in the photo. Let me grab the reflector, let me throw that back on there one more time, and then we'll finish out that way. So what I'm doing is I'm putting the reflector back on here basically to try to direct that light just a little, but I took the scrim that I had off of it, the little single layer diffusion. That way I can direct that light just a little. So now you can really see what that light is doing. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a photo with no light. That way you can see what it's doing here, no light. And we'll turn the light on at full power. You can see what total difference that makes by having that reflector on there and just going bare bulb. Now the bare bulb is cool because it lights everything up, but having that reflector on there really does let you direct that light to where you want it. Keep the background dark, really exposed, and then shoot your shot. Now what I'm gonna have to do in these photos is I'm actually gonna have to Photoshop that light out, which is fine, it's not a problem. Super easy to do, especially when the background is so simple per se, because there's not a lot of stuff going on, there's not people in the background, anything like that. It's just bare water, bare rocks, bare railing. Super easy to do. But, I mean, look what it's doing. How can you complain about that? And that's a winner right there. Look at that one. This is how you use a Westcott FJ400, bright sunny days, overpowering the sun, using the sun to your advantage, I should say, rim light or a fill light, and properly exposed. Hope you like this video. Catch me in the next one. Peace.